Welcome welcome everybody to the Leaders Podcast, Legacy Leaders Podcast. We're excited. We have a few new guests today. I welcome Todd Falcone. I've known Todd for, I would say maybe 12 years, something like that.
I think it's
Maybe
long. I think it's
10,
closer
10
to
15,
15, 18.
eight,
Yeah.
maybe it's 18. Yeah. Let's see here, maybe 2000. Time flies.
Yeah.
So it's been a long time. And Todd is a professional speaker. He helps people in the network marketing profession. I'll never forget, Todd, that I thought I was doing something different and unique. We were recruiting professionals into our business. And then all of a sudden I went to a seminar and you said, if you want to be successful, simply recruit professionals. And you don't go to the mall and recruit people. You recruit people that have their head together. So and I was like, oh, I didn't come up with that. Someone else did. Okay. So thank you for being on, Todd. Why don't you kind of share a little bit about who you are and who you help and what you do for a living?
Yeah. Well, I appreciate the invite and love sharing knowledge with people that are interested. I've been in the network marketing profession for 35, 36 years. It's really all that I've ever done. Got started in this space as a 22-year-old kid, graduating from college, and thought I was going to a job interview, but ended up going to a business opportunity meeting. I was so green and naive, I didn't even know I was getting pitched a business opportunity. But it made sense to me, and I began that journey and I struggled for the first couple of years trying to figure it out. Probably like a lot of people do, not everybody, but I did. Finally got it going right and had about a 17-year career in the field as an active distributor. The company I'd spent 11 years with went out of business, and a guy asked me to speak. I never wanted to be a speaker. It was never like, I almost failed speech class in college. So it wasn't like I was like, okay, one day I'm going to be a speaker. And so a guy asked me to speak, and I was like, what do you want me to talk about? He's like, dude, just talk about how you prospect. You're good at it. I'm like, oh, okay. And that was the first open audience that I spoke to. And this is, 18, 19 years ago. And so that one speaking gig turned into another, and the next thing you know, I'm getting booked by network marketing companies and distributors from, top distributors and companies asking me to come and speak for them. And that turned into my career. It was like I kind of flipped into that room on accident, and that's what I've been doing for the last almost 20 years. So it's been super fun. But yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I love helping network marketers out. I have people that follow me in other career paths. Like I would say that like my audience is probably 90% network marketing, and then the other 10% are performance-based sales. So a lot of what I teach is definitely applicable in traditional selling as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And what is your website, Todd? Where do people go and find you? Where's the easiest way to connect with you?
It's a really hard one. It's toddfalcone.com.
That is difficult. Yes.
Hey,
Awesome.
Todd, it's interesting. The first network marketing meeting you went to, I went to one. I had no idea it was a network marketing meeting. I thought they were recruiting me for some type of a sales position. And I get there and I find out it's an opportunity meeting. And that was back in 1972.
Wow.
And I joined the company for $3,200. This is
Wow.
1972. I joined for $3,200. They delivered $3,200 worth of wholesale soap and plastic bottles to our apartment. And I was now in the network marketing business. And I got into it for 4 years. It got closed down because of front end loading, but it gave me the confidence to start my own business. So we had a similar background. But that was funny to hear you got misled as well.
Yeah, it's so funny. $3,200 too. Like I started with $1,000 in 1989, and people are like, "Oh, it's $100 to get started. That's expensive." I'm like,
Can you? I was making $7,060 a year, and I joined a network marketing company that cost me $3,200.
wow.
And the bank gave me the loan to start. I bought the dream. I mean, it was a 2-day process. I went in the meeting in the evening, came back the next morning and still joined. And I responded to a letter that came in the mail that said, your name has come to our attention as the type of person that possesses the skills we're looking for. And I'm thinking, yeah, they found out that I had won a sales contest for where I was working. And I get there and I found out that they sent out 1,000 letters and Sherry and I were the only ones to respond. And
Wow.
here we are. Isn't that crazy?
Destiny, man.
Yeah.
And you're still in direct mail.
In direct mail?
Yeah. You were the 1%.
Yeah,
you were the
right.
1% responded to that ad. Yeah.
That's right.
I love direct mail, man. I like I love putting stuff in the mail. People like don't do it so much anymore, which is an advantage.
Yeah.
You think, I would like to talk about that a little bit. I think I would like to talk about the future and where you see the trends. We had James Lenhart on last week and we talked about AI and the future of AI. He thinks it's going to come back to more of a belly to belly operation versus, creating your AI message online. And there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously it helps a lot of people, but it tries to do the thinking for them where the personal connection, actually sitting down with them, is sometimes more advantageous. So we'll talk more about that. I'd like to hear your thoughts on that, Todd. So Dad, why don't you welcome your guest?
Yeah, I have a guest. It's Liz Deal. And Liz and I, it was strange how we met, Liz. Why don't you tell the story? Because I'm fuzzy on it at this point. But it was really interesting how we met. We met in a room where we got connected, didn't we?
Yeah, it's kind of fuzzy to me too. I had met these two gentlemen that were doing marketing, and they invited me to a podcast Zoom type thing on teaching and training, and wanted me to tell a little bit of my story and hear from them. And so there were a few of us in the Zoom room, and Jim was there, and I'd never met Jim before, and so we kind of did our thing. And then afterwards, Jim responded to me because I was talking about being in the printer copier arena. And Jim had spent years in that industry. And so he called and said, "Oh my gosh, I know what you're talking about." That's how we met.
Yeah, you were working for a company called Certainty Team, right? And you represented a company, was it Nuquo?
Yes, correct.
And you go into companies and show them how they can save money on their copiers and service and supplies. And I'm listening to this, guys, and I'm thinking, oh my God, that's a business I was in for 25 years. So we obviously connected, and that's how I connected with Liz. So tell us a little bit about what you do now, Liz, for work, because I know it's a lot more than just Nuquo.
Well, I'm still with Certainty Management, and we are a veteran-owned company. And although I'm not a veteran, I was born in the Navy, so I do have some roots there. So we now have reps all over the United States. But our main goal is that we are a profit consulting firm. So we are simply helping small businesses, medium-sized businesses across the country, which I really feel are the heartbeat of our country, in making sure that their doors remain open. And so we have a collection of services that are profit oriented, making sure that they can keep more, save more, put more back on their bottom line. And we do this with zero costs up front to the business. So it's very powerful. And we have, as Jim mentioned, we have a service in the printer copier arena where we can reduce their maintenance fees, their contract fees. We're working with Visa MasterCard settlement claim right now, which goes away in February, but it's a settlement claim where Visa MasterCard were overcharging their merchant service fees for 15 years, and it's been a class action lawsuit. So we're helping businesses opt into that. We have a student loan program where nothing that you've heard about in the recent news, but it's a legacy program that's been around for many years, that we can reduce someone's student loan by 70%, if not 100% of their student loan can go away. We also work in the benefits arena, and that's kind of a large area that I'm excited about because we can help a business with a government program that puts $2,000 back into the business per W-2 employee annually every single year. And the government has done this because they are thinking that if they can get the workforce in a healthier place, it will reduce Medicare costs down the road. And this has been in process for years, and it's been successful, so it will continue to be successful. I'm also working with a capital fundraising opportunity, which just simply allows people to be part of a community to donate to and then receive funds back. So if someone is looking for ways to improve their retirement, pay for college, build a home, whatever their needs are. It's a beautiful way of fundraising that kind of passes it around in a community. So those are just a highlight of what we do. We have about 20 plus different services that we can help a business. And in some cases, we can help an individual as well. So that's kind of the 30,000 foot view.
Thank you, Liz. Appreciate that.
Where do people go to see your information, Liz?
CertaintyTeam.com.
Team.com. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Willie?
Well, hi, y'all. My guest is Elaine, and Elaine and I met at a Zoom meeting during COVID. So Zoom meetings do work and you make connections. I'm out of Texas, and at the time she was out of Colorado. Now she's out of Arizona, but I still can't get Colorado out of my mind. But anyway, she is a transformational coach, and she's become a wonderful friend for me. And she has a track record of really helping women gain results. And I like how her approach is because it's trackable. It's not just talking about doing something, but it's about better health, more energy, more confidence, and probably most important, peace of mind. And so Elaine has a lot of secrets up her sleeve. And so Elaine, I want to welcome you and let you introduce yourself a little bit.
Oh, thank you, Willie. And yeah, I'm Elaine Nolt, and thank you so much for inviting me to this group. This is very, very nice. Good way to start the day. Of course, you guys, it's noon. I'm still an hour behind you. But yeah, Willie and I have been chatting over the years, and it's interesting because my business at the time was over Zoom because during COVID especially, people didn't want to leave the house or for whatever reason felt more comfortable being at home. But even prior to COVID, I had built my business around online because of the fact everyone doesn't have enough time. So as Willie kind of said, as a transitional coach, my clients do experience better health, peace of mind, and a more restful sleep. That's what we all want, right? And they tell me over and over that, oh my God, I have so much more energy, so much more confidence, and more free time. So I'm always looking for women who are ready to change. And we have so much information, but we don't have the knowledge to apply it. And so how I began was years and years ago that, of course, there was a major turning point, as we all have. There's a turning point to bring us to where we are. So, at this point in time, I am completely blown away that I succeeded with a new career after 50. I'm now 64, and that is very important in the work I do. And I'm absolutely overwhelmed with gratitude at the people that come up and just cry with gratitude at their healthy lifestyle and how easy it is to maintain. But what you might not know is a good 18 years ago, I was told by top specialists, well, I can't do anything for you, as they sat back and said, you're just so stressed. Why don't you come back when you're less stressed? And I can really relate to the women who keep saying yes, and we have numerous roles, and we lie awake at night going, how much more of this do I do? And so that was my bottom. When I hit it hard And I thought, I don't know how to get through another day, but I've got 3 daughters and everything else, as we all do, right? So all those commitments and not feeling enough was imploding me. So when I stood on stage in front of 600 people 10 years ago, I knew that without that past, I wouldn't be standing there now, then. And since then, in the last 10 years, I've got the opportunity to share all the secrets that took me years to launch people to their healthy lifestyle, incorporating their values, what's most important to them, in just a few months. So to me, someone making a huge shift comfortable to them in a few months is invaluable when people struggle for years and years and feel they don't have a solution. So my coaching is taking all the pieces. It's kind of like when you try to do a jigsaw puzzle and you're like, well, I only have 3 pieces, but I need to complete this 10-piece puzzle. What I do is show you all the pieces and we put it together so that when you look at that final picture, you can admire it and be in awe and feel like, I want to look at this picture every day. So my work encompasses functional medicine pillars primarily. That's the foundation. So yeah, when we all pick apart, hey, I got to make this change, we try to add things. And my coaching is taking things away so that you can live the life you want. So we do cover what you're feeding yourself with, how you're moving, your sleep, your relationships, where you escape, and just how you manage your stress. And I love it when people say, well, I'm not stressed. And then I talk to them for a while. So I love what I do. And I take people by the hand, have their back, and create that lifestyle of health that you just want to wake up and live another day for. So
Awesome.
love what I do.
Thank you.
Thanks for
Awesome.
sharing that.
Where can people get in touch with you, Elaine?
My website is my name, so let me spell it. It's Elaine Nolt, ALAINENOLT @gmail.com. And then my website's elainenolt.com.
Okay, very cool. If you want to put that in the chat, then you might have to put that in the chat for people.
Sure, I'd love to. I'll put it in there now. Thank
That
you.
goes for everybody. So, do you have any questions? I'd like to know what, Todd, that AI thing that you're working on, that would be cool to know. I'd also like to know what you see as the trend for business, small business people. What they should be focusing on, what they aren't focusing on. What are your thoughts with those couple questions?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I don't think we can avoid AI. I think that the last 20 something year, technology has done a good job of improving lots of businesses over decades. The speed of technology is like so lightning fast now that it's way different than it probably was back in like before I was born. I was, from like 1920 to 1950 versus like 1970 up until now, things just happen super fast. And then like with social media, like especially for businesses and all the stuff that I teach, while my niche is network marketing, it applies across the board to all different types of businesses. And so, a lot of coaches, small businesses, people that are, doing e-com, whatever they're doing, a lot of them move to social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, X, wherever they're at, LinkedIn. And, it's great because we have this bigger, broader audience. We've got more reach. We can get in touch with people that we would have never been able to get in touch with, back from our younger days. Think about how many people we've connected with from high school or junior high school or elementary school that you would have never found them without social media. The problem that I've seen happen, and I think that to some extent we're creating a generation of weakness, is I think that there's like muscle atrophy. If you don't, we all heard the term, if you don't use it, you lose it. And I think there's a lot of communication atrophy where you have people that, because hiding behind your computer screen and a keyboard is easier. I don't have to like go like this. This is like, for a lot of people, this is probably scary, like eyeball to eyeball on a, on a Zoom. And like, what if I screw up? What if and this is live, right? This isn't recorded. I can't, press stop and then re-record. So, people don't have to face their fears. And I've been, for the last almost 20 years of teaching network marketing, I've always talked about, look, you still need to connect with people. It's still a relationship business. Like, regardless of what you're selling, they're buying something from you because they feel good about you. They like you, they trust you. There's a degree of rapport. You can build some rapport and some connection through social media platforms, but like, if I'm going to give you $3,200, like, Jim back in the 1970s, to join a network marketing business, I want to know who the hell I'm giving my $3,200 to, not some stranger that's been DMing me on social media. So I've always been the guy that's, I adopt technology, I use technology, but to some extent, you can call me old school. Don't ever call me old. I don't like that word. I don't like to self-describe myself as OLD, because I think all of a sudden your mind starts to think about that. And now I have to go down the stairs sideways, holding onto a rail. So there's something unconsciously about using that word to describe yourself. But AI is here. It's not going anywhere. I think if you blend it, like, the problem a lot of people did is they went all in on social media, and they totally focused on social media, and they forgot to, like, just pick up the phone and call somebody and have a contact. Like, when we're done with this today, I will literally spend the entire day on the phone, making calls, booking speaking gigs, talking to people, and it'll probably be 6 straight hours of me making calls. That's actually my happier spot than sitting here behind a computer screen all day, which I got my computers in front of me. So I think, any business, you need to have a good blend of using technology. I would never lean on AI to do all of the work for me. It's already saved me thousands of dollars, just like with like reels and shorts. Like, I've been using a tool called Opus.clip for over a year. I used to pay a guy $1,000 a month to make 30 reels for me. Now it'll take it, and in seconds it'll put captions on there. It'll do it for me. Done deal. Using Chat GPT, not to write stuff for me, but to make adjustments into things that I've already written, or come up with a list of conceptual ideas that I might want to talk about. But I've never leaned on it at that level. This particular tool that I have, that we just began marketing, fills a huge void for, and it's made specifically for network marketers. Of course, people who are doing business online can use this tool. But again, like, if we look at global statistics, like, the average number of friends somebody has on Facebook is 382, and they post once a month. Well, you can't be in network marketing, or any business for that matter, and post once a month, and you have a very small audience with the global average of 300 friends. So what this does is it helps you to come up with the creative content in your tone, the way you talk. Like, I had a writer for me years ago that was writing emails for me, and then I would get emails from my clients going, "Bro, dude, you didn't write that." I'm like, and I'm not going to say, yeah, I did, because they know my tone of voice. It's clear somebody else wrote the email. And so I let the guy go. I don't want to say I fired the guy. I just let the guy go because he couldn't write in my tone. Well, AI is smart enough to learn you. And so this tool helps you to respond, helps you to come up with creative posts. You can, like, take an image. Like, let's say I was like this in an image, screenshot the image, and it'll come up with a post based on what it sees in the image. If I was frowning, it would be able to read the frown and come up with a creative post based around that. So that totally, like I said, levels the playing field for people specifically in home-based business that are using social media. And then the AI avatar that we did, it's like an AI avatar of me. And like I said, we fed it every piece of data that I've ever produced. And I've produced probably more content than, like, even guys like Eric Worre, Rob Sperry, some of these other, Ray Higdon. I've just been doing it for longer, and I've been producing lots of content. So every audio, every video, every written piece of content has been fed into that. So the knowledge base that it has, it's like, I made a joke on a podcast the other day. It's like that my AI avatar is going to put me out of business. I mean, I don't think it's really going to put me out of business. It's going to probably get me more speaking gigs. But I mean, it's literally like having me in your back pocket as a coach. So, like, if you ever have a problem, if you have a question about anything related to being successful in a business and network marketing, you can just ask the AI avatar that question. So it's incredibly powerful. My objective over the next 12 months is to take this out to as many companies and as many top leaders as possible, because It's just the people that I already have using it. It's like statistically, they get more results, they get more engagement, they increase their audience size, they sell more product, they recruit more people. The stats are already out there with this tool, and then they have a new piece of tech that's being added to it here within the next, actually this week. It's called Nav, and it navigates you through an appropriate sales process. So it knows the exact next step that you should take with this prospect based on the communication flow. So it's just, I've never, like, I'm not a hypey dude at all. I don't get, like, it takes a lot to get me like really excited. In fact, I'm kind of anti-hype. I don't like the fact that people use so much hype in network marketing. It's like, dude, chill out a little bit. You know, it's good, but it's not that good. Your comp plan, you know, is nice, but you know, it's not the single greatest compensation plan in the history of mankind, and smart people realize that. But this piece of tech is, to me, the biggest game changer that I've ever seen enter the network marketing space. And if you couple that with, you know, just being a cool person, being nice, being kind, being thoughtful. I mean, we all met back in the day and send out cards, right? So I've been a send out cards user for 20 years almost. I mean, May of 2005 was my entry date into send out cards. I still use it to this day. Every day I'm sending cards, and you know, it's become easier and easier over the years, and I use my phone, and people are blown away with just the act of kindness of just reaching out and saying, hey man, what's up, hope life's well, not ... hey, when can you book me as a speaker again for you. It's just putting out kindness and goodness out into the world. And, you know, Lord knows that we need that given the way the planet has been for the last several years. So you know, I think it's just a great idea to use the tools, use the tech that's available to us, but just be a person that keeps your word. Like, you know, if you say you're going to do something, do it, and then some. You know, one of the notes, I don't have it here in my office anymore, but I used to. It was just like, it just said, "Wow them." And it was just a reminder to, like, anybody that I do business with, like, to always over deliver on what the client expects that I'm going to do. So they're surprised, like, wow, no other speaker would ever do that for me, but this guy did this, and it gets me booked over and over again. I get referral business all the time just because I've always treated people with respect.
Awesome.
I don't know if I answered both of your questions or not.
I think you did. Is the company, can you name the company that the AI tool?
Yeah, well, you can go see it at toddfalcone.ai,
Okay.
toddfalcone.com, or excuse me, toddfalcone.ai. That's the website. You can take a 7-day trial for free. You can figure out within 7 days, and then price point wise, it's only $29 a month. I mean, it's priced at such a low level. Even just like the getting me to coach you for $29 a month, it's the cheapest like anybody's ever gotten me to coach them, because it literally has every piece of data that I've ever put out there. The company that created it is a company called NowSite. They've been in formulation for the last 8 years. They're not a network marketing company. The guy has no background in network marketing. He's a tech entrepreneur, and he's
Justin,
built.
right?
Yeah, Justin. Yeah, Justin
Yeah,
Billababa.
yeah.
So his background has nothing to do with MLM network marketing. It's just tech. And he saw network marketing and he was like, wow, there's this huge gap here. And so he realized what the gap was, and he's got the smarts to do it. And so it's been 7 years in development. And then it's going to be like guys like me that have big influence in the network marketing space that are going to get it out to the masses. And you know, I mean, I'll be on the phone all day talking to company owners and top reps saying, hey, this is a great tool for you. And it's not an affiliate program, which is great, because if you're a top leader in a network marketing company, problem is a lot of these quote tools, they have a comp plan attached to them. And so like you guys, let's say you're leading a network marketing organization, you're not going to promote that deal, because all of a sudden your team is going to be out promoting this tool rather than, you know, promoting the company that they started using the tool for. That's happened so many times. I asked him straight up, do you have an affiliate program? He said, no. I'm like, good. Because then I can take it to companies without them going, well, I don't know, it's not going to work for us.
Yeah, you can do a little bit more with it versus just taking pictures and sending them to social media. It's actually a pretty cool tool. It actually, you can create landing pages, websites, and also it allows you to connect with other people and send emails out. So you don't need a lot of small business people, or, you know, they use ClickFunnels. They, you know, to get a website over here, they have to, they have to get a email program, and NowSite has it all combined together, which is, it's really cool. So yeah, that's really
Yeah.
neat. So. Very cool.
Liz, do you use anything like that in Certainty Team?
You know, Patrick, our founder, Patrick Lang, is working
Yeah.
on some tools similar to this, but he hasn't launched them. So I will make sure that he's aware of this. So I was aware of NowSite, so I didn't realize this is what they're doing now. So I look forward to passing that information along.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, if you want an introduction to Justin on a corporate level, like I can put the two corporate guys together and let them talk. I
Thank
did that
you.
last week with another network marketing company owner, so that's easy for me to do.
And NowSite doesn't have an affiliate type of program at all any longer, Todd? Or
No, they did in the beginning, but it was a conflict of interest. I mean, if you're a user, you can enroll 3 people or introduce it to 3 team members, and then you're not paying for it, but it's not going to pay you any money.
okay, all right, interesting.
Yep. So does your figure come up when you ask it a question? Does your like Eric Worre comes up?
Yeah. Yeah.
It does? That's cool. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool. Yeah.
That
Very
Now
cool.
Site's a great tool. And I really like what you're doing with it and helping network marketers to grow their businesses. It's brilliant. And then you combine it with a personal touch, Todd. How much better can that get? Because people lack the personal touch these days.
Man, they do. Yeah. Yeah.
Todd,
Many people.
believe it or not, I use AI to create my greeting cards and send out cards.
Yeah,
Because they'll
Jordan.
create an image for me, and even the inside, if I have to tone it down a little bit because it doesn't sound like me. It sounds way too intelligent, but it's yeah. But I mean, as simple as that process is, I can utilize this tool for it.
What do you use for the image creator?
All I'm using now is this Chat GPT, and it's cost me $20 a month.
Yeah.
So you're using Chat GPT to because Jordan sent me, I don't know, it's somewhere around here. He sent me the card that's the image of like cards strewn all the way across the planet from the North
Yeah,
Pole
we
to the
use
South.
Chat GPT. That's what he used. That's what we signed.
Yeah. That's crazy, man. Pretty
Does
wild.
anybody use Elon Musk's AI? What's it called? Gronk or something?
Grok. I have used it a little bit, but I haven't used it a lot. I've used Chat GPT more, more than Grok. I am on X all the time now because Elon bought it. I don't know. I'm not gonna get political, but I kind of prefer him owning it.
Yeah.
Smart
Hey,
guy.
I don't know if you can tell, but I got something on my ear here. People told me I look like Trump. What do you think? I had some skin cancer taken off yesterday, and they put this.
Same here.
Yeah, did you? I got this
Yeah.
tape on my right ear now. So
You guys, you're not as orange.
no. Yeah.
Well, see,
Hey,
I was going
Elaine,
to
do you
call
have
you Trump, Jim. What can we say?
There you go. I'm happy with that whole election thing. I'm not going to lie to you.
Oh,
God.
man. I was celebrating. I'm still celebrating. I can't wait for them to skinny the government down to nothing.
Now just go drain the swamp. Go ahead and do it.
This is going to be a
Got my
7-hour podcast.
Yeah. If nobody else is going to talk, Todd, I'd love to have you tell us a little bit. Elaine mentioned something about relationships and building on it. You have started a new program for couples, did you not?
Yeah, Carla and I are starting in first quarter of 2025, putting on couples retreats. They're called You and I Couples Retreats. And being in the network marketing space as long as I have, typically, it's one of the partners is building, the other one's at home on the couch. And so the person involved in the business this is where the thought originated from, because I've been doing this for so long. I've seen so many marriages break up, people, growing apart because one person's growing, the other person's not. And, Carla and I have had our ups and downs. We've been together for 32 years, and we're just in a place in our relationship now. that's the best position that we've ever been in. And we've been in this great zone for many years. And we feel like we've got a lot of tools that we can offer couples that, you know, want to stay together, be happy, not be in this marriage where it's just like just surviving, just getting by. It's like, yeah, we're married, but I don't even like this person. And so I think, you know, initially the audience is probably going to come from my network marketing audience, which is most of my audience, but it's not a business conference. It's a, you know, it's a retreat. It's a fully curated retreat in amazing locations: Amalfi Coast, Switzerland, Hawaii, Costa Rica, Bali. So like, I don't like to even use the word bucket list because that's like, you know, the place you should go before you die. It's like such a, you know, yeah, before you kick the bucket, go here. Like, it's like, it's such a crazy, by the way, speaking of, to thinking about it, there's a book called Die with Zero. If you've never read that book, that's a good one to add to your reading list, called Die with Zero. But it doesn't mean what you might think it means. It's a very powerful book, by the way. But it's just, it's a 7-day, you know, all inclusive retreat where you bond, reconnect, recalibrate, unite, learn to date your mate, and just, you know, walk away from that experience being madly in love with one another and having, you know, the tools to take your relationship to where it ultimately can be. So we're pretty pumped about that. If somebody's interested, the website, in fact, we're just taking surveys right now because we're pulling in data. It's UNI, uni. So it's actually has two words. Uni is one, has multiple meanings. Uni, like one unit. It's unicouples.com. So anybody who happens to catch this, if they're interested, it's a totally anonymous survey. You can see details on the actual retreats. And we'd love for you to take the survey because that's going to give us intel on you and what you're looking for and what's going to best serve you. It's a pretty short survey and it is totally anonymous. So no matter what you say, I'll never know who it came from. So feel free to fill that out. Yeah.
You've had over 100 couples respond, have you not?
Yeah. Yeah. Carla today, in fact, she's probably doing it right now. She's out reaching out to all those people because the site went live yesterday with the survey and the new video we put on there. And then we have a Facebook group that we're adding people into. And then ultimately these first 100, like I think we'll sell out this first retreat before we even have all the details. So we're going to finalize the location next week and then start taking deposits for it and then get it done. It's going to be fun.
It reminds me of a couples retreat.
Yeah.
Or a marriage encounter.
The movie Couples Retreat's so funny. It's like, oh, I want to go to that island over there. What's that island? Oh, that's the sexy swinging, you know. It's not that, you know, it's a very different. And it's not like we're going to be sitting there grinding on you for like 10 hours a day in a seminar room. Like we want you to enjoy your mate. But we're definitely going to be sitting down and doing exercises, and there'll be a men's half day where the men get together and the women get together. And we need to have that separate time. It's kind of like, I don't vibe at all with the fact that the Boy Scouts aren't the Boy Scouts anymore. It's like boys need to have boys time, girls need to have girls time. And, you know, we're different. So, you know, that's going to be a part of what we do. So it's going to be cool. Carla's excited. The first time we've ever been in business together. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Awesome. Well, I'll have to go to that website later on and sign up. So appreciate it. So, you don't know where it's going to be yet?
Well, the locations, the initial locations that we're going to go to are all listed on the website. So if you go to unicouples.com, you can see where we're going. But we're finalizing where exactly the first location is going to be. And I would anticipate some of these couples are going to be like, okay, I want to go to that one and that one and that one, you know? So you're not limited to just going to one of them.
So I want to ask go ahead.
I was just going to say, I can go even though I've only been married 54 years.
Only 54. You can make it. Yeah.
I want to ask everybody a question. So my son, he's 11 years old. He loves basketball sneakers. And these sneakers are like, you know, they're expensive. And, you know, we don't want to just keep giving him. Plus, he's 11 years old, so he's going to outgrow them. So he said to me the other day, he's like, Dad, I want this pair of sneakers. And it's another $150. And he's already got, you know, a few sneakers that we recently bought. But you know, I told him, I said, you know, these kids watch YouTube all day long, and they watch YouTube of other people living their lives, uh, typically playing video games or doing things for cash. Mr. Beast is one big one, and I said to him, and I wrote it on my wall. It says, instead of watching videos, create them. And I said, Hunter, I said, why don't you, instead of watching, you know, kids playing video games, why don't you search how kids are making money? So he started looking into it, and he found one guy, and he's an older guy from England. Let's see if I can find his name for you. And he gives all these different ideas on how to make money for kids and adults as well. One of them is creating a Shopify account, and you can create a Shopify account for $1. You know, then it goes to $30 after your 90-day trial. But and they'll ship it, drop ship it, and create the website. AI does the whole thing for you. But he also talks about affiliate marketing too. And any thoughts on for young kids that want to start making money, or even anybody in that, you know, might be an adult, but typically, you know, for young kids, any suggestions from the group that you would suggest to Hunter and myself, because I'm researching as well. So, because he wants his own business and I want to create it with him.
What's his affinity? Like, what are his biggest strengths? Like, what does he just do so easily?
He's 11.
Yeah.
So his biggest strengths, I would say, love. He cares for people, and basketball.
Okay, so I would say what does he love engaging with? Like when you say he's on YouTube all the time, what is he really watching? What is he attracted to? And then knowing that he's a very lovable, kind, peaceful person. I mean, that's what everybody is encouraging everyone to do in their own way. So I like your thing. Don't watch a video, create one. What could he say to his peers about just how to be kind, how to just be loving? Like, you know, put the blinders on and have him speak freely. Either that or some basketball tips. I mean, get him engaged in what he loves, because as parents, we try to tell them so much of what we think they should do, what's best for them. And most of the time we're met with, yeah, thanks, mom, thanks, dad, yeah, I'm going to listen to Johnny's mom or whatever, right? So I just encourage to take his strengths as a huge asset, and what can he have fun doing? You know?
Yeah. So making videos and creating a YouTube channel or TikTok or whatever.
Let's talk to my peers about what's important to me, right? And how I encourage all of you. Like, you know, there's other kids kind of not wanting to speak out because it's maybe not the cool thing. I don't know, my youngest is now 26, but you know, that's just kind of what I see with my work with parents, is that they're distraught and want to mold this person rather than taking this person and allowing them to take their shape. You know what I'm saying? I mean, keep your rails, keep the boundaries, but how can they kind of grow within what is important to them? Really?
Okay. Very cool. Awesome.
I might have one suggestion. I have a very dear friend that was a former NBA player, and I have several friends in that arena. This particular friend has a nonprofit called Your Gift of Life. It's James Donaldson. He was a supersonic, played for the Seattle Sonics, started in the Mavericks in Texas. But James is traveling from school to school today, talking to kids about depression, stress, suicide, things that are utmost important in the school systems today and for the young people in the world. But my thinking is that maybe he connect with James' nonprofit. If you need my assistance to help connect directly with James, I can. But kind of going on what Elena said about being authentic to himself, maybe being able to connect with James as a player and interview him and see
That's
where
cool.
that take him. James has so many connections in that arena, of course, but it might be interesting. But James is doing such good work in the school system right now, predominantly in Washington State. But I'm sure that he would, if he had the opportunity to help a young man, an 11-year-old, get the word out about his love for basketball and for being authentic to himself, I think that could go far also as being just a powerful and incentive for other kids that you could do this too.
That's
That's awesome.
great. And it could lead to volunteer work too, somehow be engaged in that. I love that. That's an awesome idea, Liz. And I remember, you know, when they hit high school, it's mandatory volunteering, which I always thought was a little odd. But so if he took shape within that and used that now naturally, then who knows who he'd meet and the impact he'd have.
Connections. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Relationship.
I've gone through that philosophy. My whole philosophy out of college was learn versus earn. So I got a job working for a professional speaker and traveling the country with him and learning and from, rubbing shoulders with those guys. So that's great feedback. Thank you. So,
One of the things, Jeff, I was thinking on that, my son played baseball, not basketball, and he worked at, or I shouldn't even say worked, but he helped younger kids learn techniques and skills and built interest in baseball. And it really helped him, number one, how to teach, because my son
Good.
tends to learn quickly and not everybody learns like that. But number two, how do you talk? How do you express yourself? And then he worked with a batting. I mean, your son wouldn't do this, but went to the batting cages and worked there. And so there might be something like that in basketball too, where he could help younger kids learn skill sets. And let me tell you, they like to learn from kids versus adults. Now, when you get into high school, it's a different thing. They need a real professional coach, but most kids can work with others and it really helps.
Love it. Perfect. Thank you for the
How
suggestions.
How into hoops is he? Like, is he like a hoop freak?
How
Like,
good
he
is
knows all
how
the
good is he?
players and like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like
I don't
ridiculous.
know, how
I mean,
into,
like
like,
oh, what?
Does he like, okay, I don't know, like, I don't follow basketball at all. As soon as they bailed on the Supersonics out of Seattle, I was done. Okay. When they sent him over to Oklahoma. So the last time I watched basketball. But like, if he knows like all the players, all the college players, all the pro players, one of the things that he could do, and he would be able to monetize it, plus he's having fun, like he could easily do a podcast where he's broadcasting either live or he's broadcasting later, talking about the different plays and the players, and he could do it through like OBS, which is an open broadcasting system. It's like a open source broadcasting. A lot of like YouTubers use this, where he's down there, and it's the same thing as these guys that are playing games. They're in there playing games and they're talking about what the game that they're playing, or they're talking about a game that's being played, but it's in a it's an alignment with something that he's into. So instead of him being in just consumption mode, he's actually producing content, where he's like, basically almost like an announcer, like, hey, watch this move that Kobe made right here. See, let me back that up. See where that step was. And so he could like be like the king of his own domain, doing, being basically a sportscast from replays from games. And then he creates a following, which as a young kid, he's very likely to create a big following, especially if he does it on TikTok and YouTube. And then he can figure out a way to monetize that. The monetization structure comes later. Like my youngest kid, one of his besties, created a TikTok channel called Dad Eats. And the guy's getting millions and millions. It's like embarrassing. Like, I closed my TikTok channel. I'm like, I can't compete with this kid. He's got millions and millions of views. What I was doing is, I'm like, dude, you need to monetize that, because you got the viewers, and he just didn't know how to monetize it. So I gave him some ideas on monetizing. He's like, I'm bored with Dad Eats. It's too many, millions of views, whatever. I'm like, you could be making $100,000 a year easy by just figuring out a way to monetize that channel as he's shoving food into his dad's mouth with really weird, awkward camera angles. So, you know, I think there's like, if he really, really is into hoops and he knows the players and he knows what's up, he could very easily start producing content on different channels, and then the monetization, once he gets a following, is going to be there. He could be a reseller of shoes. Like, it's not like he couldn't, he could buy like some pair of like crazy, I don't even know shoes anymore, like Jordans that are like the limited edition. I got one pair and they retail for 1,500. He happens to get them from somebody for 600 and then makes a spread of $800 on the shoe or something. So there's a lot of things that he could do where he's able to monetize it, and you don't have to ever buy him a pair of shoes again.
All right.
That's true. I like
Yeah, I
that.
think
There you go,
Consignment
Jeff.
stores. It doesn't
That's
even
good.
have to be his size, but he can resell it off consignment or Goodwill.
Yeah.
I'm
Mhm.
going to talk to him about this. So, well, guys, I really appreciate your time today. Good catching up, and make sure you put your links in there. They'll go all over the Facebook and YouTube as well. So, and Todd, make sure you put your AI thing in there for everyone, so they can learn more about that. And just really appreciate your time today. And does anybody else have anything to add? Or
It's been a great
Yep.
morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff,
afternoon
for
over here,
organizing it.
Yeah, thanks for having
All
me,
right.
man.
Thank
Yeah,
you
no
all.
problem.
See you guys.
Guys.
See you guys.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye, Todd.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Liz. Bye, Elena.